Hi everybody, it's Corey at the Reset Girl, and I am here to do a review of the new Day Designer Blue Sky Planner. So this was a collaboration between Day Designer by Whitney English and Blue Sky Planners, and they are selling these planners exclusively in Target. They have a bunch of them. They're all different kinds of configurations. The majority of them are a weekly planner, which is not typical for the Day Designer. It truly is a daily planner, and I personally use a daily planner every day. So this one is the daily version, and I grabbed it so that I could do a comparison to the original Day Designer so that you could see the differences. This was an extremely budget-friendly option. So I get a lot of comments from people who mention things about being on a budget, you're a student. There's always people who want to know what kind of planners should I get. If you are looking for a daily planner option, and they work for some people, not for everybody, but if that was something you were interested in doing, I would highly recommend a planner like this. This was $20 at Target. And then they had a bunch of other planners in that spectrum, the weekly format, that were all different kinds of sizes and configurations. And I wanted to quickly just run through this so that you could see. There's a couple notes I've made about it, things I know that would be interested in asking about. So the daily planner is the one that has the gold stripes on it. It's gold and white. And the size of this planner is an 8 by 10, so it's 8 inches across, 10 inches down. It has kind of like a foiled cardstock cover, and then it has this thicker plastic cover to protect it. And you flip it open, and it is running from July to June. And you will notice that the interior of it is very teal. So you have the intro story from Miss Whitney English, how to use the planner. There's an information here about starting with the big picture, how to set goals, design your days, how to stay on course. This is all part of Whitney's brand, and how she really kind of put so much thought and effort into how she designed the Day Designer, and she's kind of rolling that into this planner as well. So you're still getting that experience you get with her original planner. So here is an example of the monthly spread, and you have a to-do and notes column here, which is unique to this particular planner. And then you have your regular layout. I noticed when it comes to holidays, there are these little teeny tiny little banner shapes that they have indicating, and you have your month before and your month after also on the spread. And so all the pages in here all have this kind of teal stripe, and you have teal tabs. And the tabs themselves are actually, they're pretty on the smaller side, and they're held together. Let's see if you can see that. So sometimes it's, the plastic comes way out onto the page, but these are actually pretty narrow how they're attached. So then you go ahead and you're going to flip it over, and this is starting on July 1. The coils they're thinner than the original. Obviously, for the price point, they're not going to be putting the best on there, but they feel rather sturdy to me, and you could probably, there's probably, if you were really rough with it, slipping it in out of a backpack or something, I could see these totally bending on you, but for the most part, they're okay. As far as the metal coil goes, they're fairly decent. I do predict you're going to get bending with this one. So this layout for this planner is unique in that the regular one, let me flip through my pages here, is you have a three column layout versus the 2 in the original. So in this one, you're going to see you have your today's schedule, and you have all of your time frame is marked in half-hour increments, and it starts from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. So then you have your today's top 3 goals that you'd be listing, and then all of your to-dos, and you have a little box for tonight. Most people would probably use something like that for like their dinner plans, whether it's eating in, like what their menu is going to be, or plans that they have that evening. And then you have this little gratitude box, which I personally like. I always use that, whether I put a stamp in it or I'll handwrite a little a quote or a scripture in there. Then you have this new notes column, which I really like. I probably would have caved and got this planner if it hadn't been entirely teal. If it had been just black and white, I probably would have bought it just for this column alone, because this is super handy. I could have put, like, you know, 2 nice size sticky notes. I use sticky notes all the time in my planners, so for me that's something that would work. And you can see that this is a fairly large sticky note, and I could totally fit in there and have room for a second one. So that's something I would have done. Now in the original, and I guess this would be the 2015 version. They're about to roll out a brand new one in just a couple weeks, so I'm sure it will look even different than this. But you have like a little do here, dinner, dollars, don't forget. I never use this. I always cover it up with scrapbook paper, because it's not something that I use. And then I have the today's top 3, just like you have over here, and then your today by, you know, marked in hours from 5 to 9, and it's just in hour blocks. And then you have all your to-dos, just like you do here. And then down here is this note section. So this went away and became a nice little area where you have lines for actually writing them down. But the daily gratitude is still there. So this planner, the original, is 7.5 by 9.5. So it is a smaller footprint. It's also quite, I would say it's heavier. It's got the more thick, substantial covers in this one. This is definitely about price point. This is about giving you a really great designed planner without spending a fortune on it. And it is nice. It has a nice weight to it. I did check something for you because I am a stamper. I love to stamp in my planner. So I tested out this particular stamp pad, which is my absolute favorite. I use it in all of my stamping and planners. It's a Prima chalk edger. So it is a chalk ink. It's not dye, it's not pigment. A chalk ink, the ink itself, it kind of sits on top of the page rather than seeping in and bleeding through. So here I actually stamped directly on the page, and you can see on the other side, it's right here, there's very little bleed through. It's very, very minimal. I would totally stamp in this planner directly on the page with this type of ink, no problem. In this one, I actually stamped in the back. So you see it here, I stamped down here, but on this one I feel like it's a lot more obvious that it's there. So the paper quality of this it's not as nice as the original. This was, you know, substantially more money though, in all honesty. So if you were looking for a great daily planner and you didn't care about stamping directly on the page, this would be an excellent choice. Again, it's a daily, and this doesn't work for everybody. Some people like the weekly and monthly. One thing that they do consistently in both planners is they treat their weekend a little differently than the rest. So you have the Saturday and Sunday, you have both of them have everything marked by the time. So this starts at 5 to 9 and this is 6 to 8, and you have both of them here. And one cute thing that she does differently in this planner is it says take a time out, fun things to do. So it was actually encouraging you to write some fun activities, which we all know planning would be at the top of that one. And then next week, and don't forget. So this is supposed to kind of help you plan for your, the next day, the entire week, but starting with the next day. So that is what this planner looks like. So I have noticed lately, ever since these kind of hit Instagram, that whenever I'm showing this planner, a lot of people are confusing it with the Target planners and thinking that what I'm showing is that planner and they're running off to Target. I want to be really clear, it is not the Target planner. This is the original Day Designer, and you can access the Day Designer by clicking when you click the Day Designer on my Instagram post, on anyone's Instagram post. If you click their account, they have a link in their bio that will take you straight to their store, so you can buy it directly from them. They actually have an online store. I believe it's Etsy. I believe it's Etsy based, if I remember correctly. So another thing that I also just realized is one of the things that I personally love about this planner is the fact that it has little quotes, and they still continue to keep that little feature. There is nothing I love more than a really great quote, and I love having them in my planner. I add them to planners that don't have them. So that was a quick review. I wanted to quickly go over it so that you could see that you have an alternative to the more expensive type if you are not as picky about certain things. A lot of people do not stamp, so that would be irrelevant. And if you are on a budget and you want a nice planner that you can decorate and show off on social media, this is actually, I think, a really great opportunity to do so. You would just be decorating it, you could cover this up with washi if you wanted and just add your stickers, and you would be good to go. So I hope that helps, clears up, and gives you a nice idea of the side-by-side comparison. The Day Designer is going to be rolling out their new 2016/2017 planner very shortly, so I'm excited to see what that is going to look like. They'll have new covers and everything. So I hope that's helpful to you guys, and I will be seeing you real soon in the next video. Bye, everybody!